In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a page in Page Viewer by Themify. Now, first of all, we're going to log into WordPress, and we're just going to go into a page, or we can go in and create a new page. But let's just go into one of these pages here. So, first of all, the thing that's different about Themify, and I'm using the theme Ultra, which in my opinion is one of the better themes because it gives you just so many different options. One thing it does allow you to do is it allows you to change per page different features, like you can move the sidebar around, you can go full width, let's see, you can change the color, you can change the menu, you can change how the menu is laid out, you can change how the footer is laid out. You can also change what menu is used on each page. So if you want to have a different menu on each page, you can do that. So these are some of the page options here. Now, this is the Wysiwyg Editor that most of you are familiar with when you're using WordPress. Now, the Wysiwyg Editor is very limited as you can't really arrange things. Like if you wanted a picture over here, you could do that if you want it to wrap. It's kind of easy to do. But if you want it to just kind of stay in one column, it's harder to do. And so with the Themify Page Builder, you can actually lay out the page exactly the way you want it. And so what they do is this is the Themify Builder. So you basically just ignore this area. If there's something in there, then get rid of it and then update it. If you save down here, it will not save this up here, just so you know. So make sure, but if you update here, then it should update this as well. So just clear this and then update. And then what they do is they give you these blue boxes. So these blue boxes is your palette, or that's where you're going to be designing everything. And you're going to be laying it out with objects. So here's all your objects. These are the available objects that you can lay out. So the blue box is a row, and we can break up this row into different columns. So we've got one main column or two or whatever. And so you can see there's different options. There's also different options for the gutter width. So you can have your gutter be a little wider or do different things. So let's go ahead and just split this up into two different ones here. And so one of the things you can do is you can go down here and you can put in, let's just put in a text box here. And this will actually appear as, it'll be I believe it's an H2 tag, which is a header tag 2. And you can go in and you can stylize that differently. You can have it styled the way the default is for the theme, or you can style it the way you want. But you can also style all this in here using some of the settings in here. So you can see that you can do things like you can animate it so that it bounces in or flashes. Now, you don't want on a website, you really don't want to have a whole lot of wacky things going on. Typically, these things are kind of, people are going away from these things because they're not as professional. Now, if you have a fun website, feel free to use all the wacky things you want. You can have it bounce in and do different things. Or if you just want it to be a little bit fun, do that. But I would say if you're going for a real professional feel, you want to avoid these things right here. You can set your background image. Now, this is just for this text box that we're doing. So it's not for the whole page. It's not for that row. It's just for that text box. So you can set a background color. You can set a different font for this one. You can say, well, everything in this text box needs to be centered, or needs to be flushed right, or needs to be left, or justified, or whatever. You can also change your default link color for just this text box. So if you had, say your whole site is white, but this text box you wanted it to be black, and so you want to have all white text in there, and then normally your link color is blue, you might want to change that in this text box. You might want it to be maybe a light yellow or something that stands out better on black. So you do that here. Here's where you'd also, you could have it underlined. You could tell it to not be underlined if it's a link. So there's a whole bunch of different options. Now, these are the ones that I use the most. It's the padding and the margin. Because a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm squishing a box up or I'm pushing it down. So if you want to have space above the box, then you'll want to have padding in there. If you want to, you want to have margin in there. If you want to have space inside the box, so if you're, say we're creating a black box and we're going to have some white text in there. If we want to have some space above the text, normally there is going to be some default space, but if you want to add some more, you could add some more, and you can control that here. If you want to have space above the black box, then you'll add margin to that. So you can also add the border. You can see right here we can choose the colors or we can put in a color number, the HTML color number. Now also, if you really wanted to get creative and you understand CSS a little bit, you can put in a CSS class name here, and then you can go and control that somewhere else. So if you wanted to have all these boxes that are basically all going to be black or whatever, and they're all on different pages, but you wanted them to have all the same styling, then you can name this a certain thing, and then you can go into the customization and you can set that styling there. So that's just a little rundown. Don't get overwhelmed by everything that's here. Just basically create the box, and if it looks right, great. If not, go in and tinker with that a little bit with the styling here and see if you can make that work. So now let's just put in we'll put in some fake information here. So putting the phone number is pretty cool. Let's just put a fake phone number in here. Putting the phone number in is pretty cool. However, let's put in an icon here as well. And that's one of the things that is cool about Themify is it has built-in icons. So we're going to go right down here to icon, and we're going to go insert icon. And I know that there's a phone icon here because I use it all the time. And you can see they're in alphabetical order here. So we have this one and we have this one. I'm just going to use this one. And I don't need a label. I don't need it to be linked to. I can set up a style to it. I can set a color on it. And I think that's great. So I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to put a space there. Now this is a Wysiwyg editor as well, and one thing you might not know about a Wysiwyg editor is if you hit return or enter, it's going to put you down a double space, basically, a double line. But if you go back and you hit shift and enter, it just puts you down one line. So if you're having trouble and you want it to be closer together, then that's how you do that. And then let's put a fake email in here as well. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put the icon in as well for that. Now you can see there's a whole bunch of different things we can add right inside this text box here. So that's one of the things that's cool about it is you can build inside of different things. And let's see, I think what I want to find is an envelope. And there it is. Actually, yeah, that would be fine for this. Okay. So let's just do that for now. Now, say I wanted to actually split this up a little bit differently. I wanted to actually split this box up into two different things, and I wanted to put an image over here. That's possible, actually. I can split this box again, and I can put something in here. So if I come right over to this, and I just say split it, you can see how it split it into two pieces now, and it put this text box here. Say I want that over here, and it's a little quirky. It's trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. I could then take and put an image in here, and you can see it gives me different options of how the image is laid out. Generally, I uncheck that and I undo these ones as well. That's just the way I do it. Now, if really the way I could have done this instead of splitting that box up is I could have done it like this. And I could have put the image in and then put the text in right here for the phone and all that. That's the technical way of doing it, and that's the way you should do it because it lays it out perfectly. However, if you're playing a different game here and you're trying to do something differently, then this is an option for you. So let's go ahead and cancel that. I wanted to also show you the map. So it has a map that's built into it. So let's just go put in 1600. That's not how you spell Pennsylvania. And that's still not how you spell it. There it is. So that's the White House basically. So that's the address, and then we can choose how wide it should be, how tall the map should be. Excuse me, how much the zoom should be, and we can also choose if it's a road map, if it's a satellite, if it's a hybrid, if it's terrain or whatever. We can also have, like, if somebody clicks on it, and I'm sure White House Might be one word, I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's how you would place that in there. Let's go ahead and hit save. We'll take a look at this now. So here's the information that we put in, and it's still spaced it out, and that's because there's some default styling that's somewhere in here. So it's still put a space in between here. It's probably the icons. Now we can go in and fiddle with that. There are some ways to do that, but that's getting in a little bit deeper than what we want to cover here in this video. But you can see that that in here you can add all kinds of different things. You can add like a tab box where it has different tabs, and you can have different information in each one of those tabs. You can do a gallery, you can do an accordion, which does a similar thing to the tab box where it has an accordion effect where it opens and slides open different things. If you just want to have a box that stands out, a box is great, or you can do the call out. The call out usually comes with a link or a button there in the box, and it's kind of just a box that pops out and allows people to put in, or allows you to put in some information, and then it has a button where people would click to learn more or go wherever you want them to go. There's a divider. If you just want to put a line in, you can do the divider. And the feature one is pretty cool. Let me put a feature in here and just kind of show you what that is. Now that uses, let me show you a few of these things here. This is the middle. This is the top. Now this is a feature object. Basically, you'll put an icon off on the side or off on this side or up above. Let's go ahead and go up. Well, let's go ahead and go off on the side here. And generally, they'll have about 3 of them across. Let's just do it like this, I guess. And we'll do percentage. We'll do 75%. We'll do a 5-stroke. We'll choose a color here. Let's choose red. And we're going to do a medium icon. Then we're going to choose the icon, and we're just going to choose something fancy here. Let's do cubes here. And I can change the color of the icon. I can also have a link on it. And then I'm going to hit save. I'm also going to split this and show you a few other little things you can do. So now I can actually duplicate this. Come over here, duplicate it, come over here. And now I can go in and I can change each one of the information in each of these. I can change the different icon, put different text in. But I've got the basic same setup, and so I can go from there. Another thing about this is you can duplicate this page. Now, in a different video, I'm going to talk about layout parts. Layout parts is a great thing to learn as well as you're creating a page. And make sure you watch that other video. I'll create that next. So let's go ahead and save this, and I'll show you what I just created. So you can see here's the top text, here's the middle text, and here's just the regular text. Now, I don't know if you noticed as these loaded, they filled in to that 75%. So if I put 100, they would have gone to 100. So you could actually have a percentage here saying 25% of people read these, or whatever you want to say. You could do that. But I put these top and middle just so you can see the placement of where these would be. If we change those to something like this, and then remember, we gotta, once we save there, we still have to save the page. So always remember, and I do that sometimes. I'll go and I'll look and I'll be like, nothing changed. Oh, I didn't hit the save button again. So you just have to remember to hit the save button twice whenever you go in and edit something. So you can see this one's on the side, the top is still up here, the middle's up here, and you don't have to put anything on top. So if you just want, and you don't have to put anything in the middle as well. You could just have text right here. So let's even do that really quickly. And we'll just save again. And save again. And there it is. You can see it bumps this all up. It removed the space that would have been here, and it bumped everything right up there. So, but that is how you do a feature. And let's see if there's anything else I want to make sure we cover. There's a slider. The slider in Themify is very basic. It's just to slide an image. It's nothing really complicated. You can also place a widget, which is pretty cool. You can actually take and you can say, well, I want to have a widget in here, and it basically creates this widget for you, widget area. So you can say, well, okay, I want to have a text widget or whatever. But if you want to use one of your existing widgets, which are over here in the appearance area, widgets here, and say you wanted to put the social media widget on there. So then you would go to widgetized, and you'd put that in there, and you could choose social widget and hit save. Now, I don't have anything don't believe I have anything set up in the social widget here. I'd have to create that. Yeah, there's nothing showing there. But you get the general idea, or did I not even save? I think I did what I just told you not to do a minute ago. And yeah, there's still nothing in there. So you would have to go in here and, but once you create the widget, then you can use those widgets again on another page and so forth. However, that gets us into this builder layout part, and we'll cover that in the next video. So be sure and like this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment or visit us at topedgeservices.com, and you can contact us there. Thanks.